Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd and Julie Chrisley released from prison 3 years after being convicted. Reality television couple Todd and Julie Chrisley have been released from prison after more than 2 years behind bars. Today.com has confirmed. After being convicted of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States in 2022, the Chrisley Knows Best stars were released from their respective prisons on May 28. Both were heading back to their home in Nashville, Tennessee, Wednesday night. A judge originally sentenced the couple to a combined 19 years in prison. Though their sentences have been shortened and revised over the past 2 years, the couple's Wednesday release comes years earlier than expected. One day prior, on May 27, President Donald Trump revealed on social media that he planned to pardon the couple. A video shared by White House aide Margot Martin on X showed Trump calling the pair's children, saying, "Your parents are going to be free and clear, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. Is that okay? We'll try getting it done tomorrow, so give them. I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them well. Wish them a good life," Trump is heard saying, later adding, "Well, they were given a pretty harsh treatment, based on what I'm hearing, pretty harsh treatment." Chrisley Knows Best, which aired on USA Network, owned by NBC Universal, followed the wealthy life of millionaire real estate mogul Todd Chrisley, his wife, and their 5 children. The show ran for 10 seasons, from 2014 to 2023. Growing Up Chrisley, a spin-off of the reality show that centered around 2 of the children, spanned 4 seasons, from 2019 to 2022. In 2019, Todd and Julie Chrisley were indicted by a federal grand jury in Atlanta, Georgia, for 12 counts of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States, according to NBC News. In 2022, the couple was found guilty of federal fraud charges and hiding their wealth from tax authorities. Months later, Todd Chrisley was sentenced to serve 12 years at federal prison camp Pensacola, Florida, while Julie Chrisley was given a 7-year sentence at the Federal Medical Center Lexington in Kentucky. The couple's accountant, Peter Tarantino, was also found guilty of tax fraud for filing false corporate tax returns on their behalf. He is currently serving a 3-year prison sentence. The couple reported to their respective prisons in January 2023. After serving for 9 months, their prison sentences were reduced, per the Federal Bureau of Prisons. As of September 2023, Todd Chrisley was set to be released on January 22, 2033, 2 years less than his original sentence. Julie Chrisley's sentence was reduced by 14 months, changing her release date to October 19, 2028. Julie Chrisley's sentence was entirely thrown out in June 2024, when judges in the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the judge from the original trial miscalculated her prison term. This vacated her sentence, prompting a lower court to resentence the reality television star. During the resentencing hearing in September 2024, a judge subsequently declined to reduce Julie Chrisley's prison sentence. Instead, she was resentenced to 84 months, 7 years, in prison and 5 years of supervised release. She was thus expected to be released on April 22, 2028 prior to the pardon. After 3 long years behind bars, reality TV's former first couple of Southern charm, Todd and Julie Chrisley, have finally walked out of prison gates into the sunlight of freedom. Once the stars of Chrisley Knows Best, their glamorous, high-energy lifestyle had come to a crashing halt when they were convicted on federal bank fraud and tax evasion charges in 2022. But now, their release has ignited a flurry of speculation, excitement, and reflection, and everyone wants to know what comes next. A carefully orchestrated exit. It wasn't exactly a red carpet rollout, but sources close to the Chrisley family say their prison release was methodical, quiet, and emotional. Todd, once the outspoken patriarch with a flair for designer suits and Southern sass, reportedly stepped out of federal prison Camp Pensacola early Monday morning. His signature platinum blonde hair had faded to a more subdued gray, and he sported a clean beard, giving him a more subdued and reflective appearance. Julie, released from Lexington's Federal Medical Center hours later, was described by eyewitnesses as composed but tearful. A longtime homemaker and maternal figure on screen and off, she had reportedly spent much of her sentence mentoring younger inmates and leading Bible study later groups that day in a private location outside of Atlanta. With only their children, a few trusted friends, and one very protective publicist in attendance. 3 years, a lifetime changed. Much has happened since Todd and Julie entered prison. Their daughter Savannah became the legal guardian of her younger brother Grayson and niece Chloe, a responsibility she took on with fierce devotion, but not without struggle. She's also grown into a formidable media figure in her own right, launching a podcast that often doubled as a public platform to speak out about her parents' conviction. Throughout their prison stay, the Chrisleys continued to maintain their innocence, with Todd filing appeals and Julie reportedly writing daily journals, some of which may be turned into a memoir, tentatively titled Grace Behind Bars. Now that they're out, insiders say they're more determined than ever to clear their names. But time behind bars has undeniably left its mark. They are different people, said a close family friend. The sparkle's still there, but it's tempered. There's been a reckoning. They know life as they knew it is over, and what comes next is something entirely new. No red carpet, but a return. Fans of the Chrisleys are already wondering whether the couple will return to reality TV. USA Network, which canceled Chrisley Knows Best in the wake of their conviction, has made no official comment. However, industry whispers suggest that multiple streaming platforms are very interested in developing a docuseries or even a comeback special centered around Todd and Julie's post-prison life. They have a powerful story, one entertainment executive noted. There's redemption, family, faith, and scandal. It's irresistible. Thanks surviving the fall. The Chrisley redemption. Savannah herself hinted on her podcast that a new chapter is being written, and cameras may be rolling. If true, it would mark one of the most unexpected comebacks in reality TV history. The legal cloud still looms. Although Todd and Julie have served a portion of their original sentences, Todd's 12-year sentence was reduced, as was Julie's 7-year sentence. Legal experts point out that their release doesn't necessarily mean their troubles are over. Both are still on supervised release and face millions in restitution. They're free, but far from done, said criminal defense attorney Lexay Hargrove. The federal government will be watching their financial activity like a hawk, and any misstep could send them back. Still, the Chrisleys team is already talking about rebuilding their brand, slowly, strategically, and with an emphasis on faith, growth, and family. Julie, in particular, is said to be considering launching a faith-based lifestyle brand inspired by her prison experiences. Reunion, reflection, redemption. In a private statement released just hours after their reunion, the couple thanked their supporters and asked for privacy as we rebuild our lives from the inside out. The statement was laced with gratitude but also defiance, with one line reading, "The truth will always rise, and we will not be silenced." Fans flooded social media with messages of support and questions. Would Chloe stay with Savannah or move back in with Todd and Julie? Would Grayson, now a young adult, return to the showbiz spotlight? Could the Chrisleys reclaim their place in pop culture? Or would they fade into obscurity like so many scandal-struck stars before them? If there's one thing the Chrisleys have proven, it's that they don't go quietly. A life reimagined. Sources say Todd has been journaling extensively during his time in prison, reflecting on fame, failure, and faith. He wants to tell his side of the story. And it's not what you think, one insider shared. He's gone through hell, but he still believes God has a purpose for him. Julie, ever the anchor, is focused more on family than fame. Her first priority, according to those close to her, is to reestablish trust and routine with her children, especially Chloe. She's also reportedly begun therapy to process her time in prison and the trauma of separation from her family. "They're not rushing anything," said their longtime friend and former co-producer. "They're home, but they're walking softly. And maybe that's the biggest transformation of all." The road ahead. As the Chrisleys step cautiously into the next phase of life, one thing is clear: they are no longer the glossy, unbothered power couple America first met in 2014. They've been broken down, examined, judged, and now released. But they are still together, still fighting, and still telling their story in their own way. Whether that story leads to a spiritual rebirth, a new empire, or simply a quiet life outside the public eye remains to be seen. But for now, Todd and Julie Chrisley are free, and that's a chapter no one saw coming.